Hello, Bots and Books fans. This is Scorp1701, and tonight we're going to do a quick overview of the Target exclusive NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2-packs. And there is just not enough good I can say about these things. They are awesome, great, tubular, gnarly. Well, you get the idea. I am so happy to add these to my collection, and I know there was like 2 in each pack, but basically in the review I'm going to just focus on the turtles. Let's talk a little bit about the bad guys, but I bought this set for the turtles. The bad guys were just an added bonus, I guess. But anyway, so I guess we want to start back in 1987 when Playmates put out the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We were kids. I was a kid anyway. And I had them. I was happy with them because they kind of looked like the Ninja Turtles I saw on TV. They're the same color. They had same weapons. Well, they had the same colored bands on them, but each of these turtles were different shades of green, which I guess set it apart a little more. Heck, they could have been mean and just give us like the original Eastman Laird turtle concepts where everybody was wearing red. The only way you could tell them apart was by their weapons. But anyway, back to the story. The Ninja Turtles were a big hit. I mean, they just made a smash in the toy departments. They did a lot of stuff with the Ninja Turtles. They had Monster Turtles, they had Star Trek Turtles, they had any type of turtle you can imagine. But as they continued the brand and they continued to make the figures, the one thing that they didn't have was just a standard turtle. They all had to have gimmicks like sports turtles or hidden shell turtles or transforming turtles, which I didn't mind transforming turtles. I like transforming turtles, but anyway. But I just wanted something classic. So when they released the classic line, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've always wanted. They're great, they're plain, they just have the turtles, they just have their weapons. These are, in my opinion, the definitive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And how wrong I was. However, it did take about 6 or 7 years for NECA to prove me wrong. And I'm so glad they did. So it wasn't really hard to decide. There were only a few groups doing Ninja Turtles. NECA, they were doing a lot of good stuff. They did some horror movies, and then they did the movie Turtles, and they released this set in 2 different forms, the regular and then the video game paint scheme, which was pretty cool, but not for me. I just wanted standard great Ninja Turtles. And there was also the SH Figuarts versions. They were very cartoony looking, very bright, colorful, and they came in at around $47 a pop, which wasn't bad. But when NECA released theirs, I thought the color scheme was good. It wasn't as bright, and I think it fit the cartoon a little better. Plus, you got an extra figure in there for their $52 price point. So $47 for one figure or $52 for 2, that really wasn't a hard decision to make. Also, you have Super 7, who is just now getting the ring of creating Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, but they are moving more along the lines of the original toys. So they're basically adapting those, not the cartoons. But anyway, moving on to the actual review here. There's a few things that I like to talk about when it comes to reviewing toys. And those, of course, would be like the sculpt, articulation, paint, accessories, playability, and shelf presence. So let's get started with the first of our criteria, the sculpt. Now, when it comes to the sculpt of these Ninja Turtles, they're all the same sculpt. Sort of like when we reviewed the Diamond Select Ghostbusters, all the Ghostbusters were the same, except they had different colors and different head sculpts. And there are just minor differences, and it's not in the body, okay? The differences in the NECA sculpts are in the head. And obviously the belt has the different initial on it. But for the most part, the head is where you're going to get the different sculpting details. Like if you take Donatello, he just has a solid mouth, no teeth showing. Raphael has teeth showing on his right side. Michelangelo has teeth showing on his left side. And Leonardo has teeth showing on both sides, so he's getting the best of both worlds, and you got lots of teeth in there. Don't even think turtles have teeth, but hey, mutants. Anyway, so yeah, the sculpts are great. The detail they put on them, the shell, the musculature. So yeah, it's not bad for sculpt wise. I mean, they're not too big. I think with a scale they fit right in with the 6-inch figures. So, and they're supposed to be a little smaller, like 4 feet tall. So I think it's a really neat sculpt, and they got a lot of detail in there. Moving on to articulation, they are very articulate. The heads moves around, arms move around, biceps swivel, wrist swivel, have thigh swivels, and their foot and knees bend, elbow bends, a lot of bending. The only thing they lack is a waist swivel and any articulation up in the chest area. But it's a turtle. It's one big piece. They're not supposed to really move that way, and it would be kind of hard for them to do that. They would have to like break the sculpt, and I didn't really like that, so I don't think I would like that. So I'm happy with the articulation that they do offer, so nothing to complain about there. Moving on to paint, these guys are wonderfully painted. The bandanas, they're all vibrant colors, and the shading effects that they have on them from the sides, and as they go back it gets darker. That's really neat. I've never really seen a figure. I've never really seen figures shade that way unless it was like a one-off, but this was like the main brand, the main line, so I think it was an interesting choice Neca made, and it doesn't bother me. It's really neat, and it's an interesting concept. So yeah, the paint is good, the weapons are painted well, and I have no gripes about the paint. Haven't actually had any paint chipping or wear so far, so that's a good sign. Coming to accessories, there's not really any more you can ask in the accessory department than what these guys come with. They come with a slew of things. The weapons are nice. No complaints about the weapons. Leonardo's, like I said in my Leonardo review, I didn't like his swords, but we fixed that problem. The turtle communicators, open mode, close mode, those are great. Extra hands. Oh, pizza slice, that's nice. The little grappling hook that Michelangelo uses, the special effects of his nunchucks. I don't have that out here, but still, that was pretty neat. And yeah, I think they pretty much covered it with accessories, even for the bad guys. The bad guys had a lot of different things, like the foot soldier guns, Krang's little roly podium, Shredder's sword, Shredder's alternate hands with those cool little palm blades. I love those. But yeah, the accessories with these guys, lots of stuff. So can't go wrong if you throw in a lot of accessories. We'll find that out when we come to the Thundercats next year. When it comes to playability, I think they hit the nail right on the head with these guys. They are very sturdy and articulated, so I think that helps with them. They got, again, the different accessories you can equip them with. It brings a whole lot of play options. And unlike the Diamond Select Ghostbusters, I don't think they're as fragile. They feel very sturdy in hand, and I don't think they're going to break anywhere. So, yes, play on with these guys. And they even got playmates in the box with them, so that's always fun. And finally, we come to the last criteria of our review, which would be shelf presence. And these guys don't disappoint either. They look great on a shelf, whether they're just standing there in a solid A stance, or if they have their weapons out and doing stuff, they look great. And because of the way the set was designed, you don't even have to have them up there. You can even display the bad guys, because they have bad guys with them. So, yeah, you're not going to be unhappy. The only thing you might have trouble with is finding a shelf big enough to hold the turtles plus the bad guys that come with them. But I don't know. I probably won't display my bad guys, I think, unless I find a big shelf, a big wide open shelf, like the top of a bookshelf or something like that, where you can have them all displayed out and in a wider area. But anyway, as for shelf presence, it's a-okay to me. And those are the 6 criteria I look at when I'm reviewing toys and decide if I want to pose them and put them up on a shelf or something. And I am just so ecstatic. There is nothing that I can say bad about this set of NECA Ninja Turtles, other than the fact that maybe they were a little too hard to find, to get to. But hey, I think the search is part of the fun, the hunt is part of the fun, and so in my humble opinion, I believe NECA has just given us the definitive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle groups from the cartoon. And speaking of definitive, I've always thought that each series had a definitive set of characters and, people. So when it comes to Ninja Turtles, you had the 4. Always had to have the 4: Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. And you have to have Splinter. You have to have April, Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. And, I was a bit surprised when we didn't get Splinter, April, Bebop, and Rocksteady, because it just seemed like a obvious thing to me, I guess, because they're the definitive characters of the show. And if I would have had my way, and again, this is my preference, not necessarily everybody else's choice, is when they put out their sets, you would have Leonardo and Shredder, maybe Donatello and Krang like they did. Then you'd have Michelangelo fight maybe Bebop, and then Raphael with Rocksteady, and then you would have Splinter and April facing off against the Foot Soldiers like we got. So that would be about the only change I would make, because I think those 2-pack sets, that would be great. But anyway, that brings us to some NECA news. So apparently NECA is not finished creating Ninja Turtle 2-packs, and at local toy fairs they released images of the next group of figures they're going to be releasing, and they're going to have a Slash and a Leatherhead. They're going to have a 2-pack of Bebop and Rocksteady. They're going to have Casey Jones in April, it looks like, and they're going to have a whole bunch of newly designed foot soldiers, which I'm not really interested in, but still, they don't have any Splinter. I don't get that. Where's Splinter? We need Splinter. But I'm pretty sure that they're going to have Splinter. But April looks like she may be coming with Casey Jones. Bebop and Rocksteady are together, so definitely want to get those two. Definitely want April. Not so sure about Casey Jones, but hey, he looks pretty neat, little hockey mask wearing fella. But so that's something to look forward to. So our Neca line is not officially dead yet, and we may have more turtle reviews. These guys are slated to hit sometime this fall, if I read the articles right, and everything goes well with production. So it may be interesting to check out the Neca section in the Targets, because they're coming. Ha 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 ha. But if you still haven't got your hands on the original 4 2-packs, I would suggest this website called Zavvi. That's ZAVVI.com. You should be able to find them on there for like $60, $65 or something. A box set. There's also eBay, but there's a lot of scalpers on there, so you'll be paying a lot for there. And Macari, a couple other places you can find if you look online. But hopefully the best way is to get lucky, go into Target, see them on the shelf and say, yay, that's what I want. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the overview of the last 4 reviews we did for the Neca Turtles. It was very fun. Love the series. Can't wait to get my hands on Bebop, Rocksteady, April, and Splinter whenever they put him out. And so stay tuned. We still got some Transformers coming up, and a little bit of surprises coming in October, which should be now, actually. Oh, hello, October. So, guys, have a good night, and I'll catch you later.
Turtle power.